Welcome to another episode of Big Guns of Real Estate. I'm back in Bangalore city, clearly a cut above the rest when it comes to quality real estate and quality real estate players. Today we're going to chart the journey of the Brigade Group under the leadership of M.R. Jaishankar. Interestingly, this group acquired its name from the first project it built, Brigade Towers, on a very well-known road of Bangalore. That's the Brigade Road. And of course, it's gone on to build a reputation which is solid and trustworthy. Jude Sanith captures the journey.
It's a city known today for good realty and big budget commercial retail. But in 1986, much before big brands came to be, a startup called Brigade Investments gave Bangalore what was then its tallest non-government structure. A 14-storied office building by the name of Brigade Towers.
Every slab was monitored, every construction stage was monitored, and I had the privilege of checking each of the slabs and the columns, so I would be one of the first to go one floor higher, and I would see the expanding horizons. And for me, it was a great matter of great pride doing that. We finished the work at 3:30 in the morning on the 1st of April, and I was back at 8 in the morning to announce to the world, yeah, we have done it, and it was celebration after that.
27 years, 20 million square feet and 100 buildings later, the Brigade Group is today one of Bangalore's big real estate players. And the man behind it all, M.R. Jaishankar, the founder of the Brigade Group, is today the face of Bangalore's changing real estate. But it hasn't been easy for the first generation entrepreneur. His brother parted with him a few years into the business, calling for a bit of revamp to business itself. But these challenges resulted in an evolution that has culminated in the group's masterpiece, Brigade Gateway.
I always funnily call it the most mixed-up, mixed-use project in the world because it has everything. It has a school, it has a mall, it has apartments, it has offices, it has a hospital, it has a five-star hotel, and it has a club. So literally we used to code name it in our office as Hotel California because it says you can check out anytime you like, but you never have to leave.
In 27 years, Brigade has built 20 million square feet. A majority of this took form in the last 10 years. The group now plans on touching the 30 million square feet milestone in the next 5 years. This, while it now boasts of a presence in 7 cities: Bangalore, Mangalore, Mysore, Chikmagalur, Hyderabad, Cochin and Chennai. Brigade's post-recession revenue growth also makes for good reading. It registered a 30% revenue growth between 2010-2011 and 2011-2012, followed by a 29% revenue growth the next fiscal year. The turning point in Brigade's growth ladder, at least according to the group's commercial and retail head, was foresight. Today, Vishal Mirchandani believes that Brigade's big bet on commercial real estate has paid off. A decision that Bangalore City was beginning to make, but one that Brigade made first.
You see, the population of Bangalore in the last 15 years has really exploded. It's attracted a lot of professionals into the city because of the IT boom. And because of that, what has happened to Bangalore is that it's just the demand of residential is not the only thing that is shaping up the real estate story. You have the opportunity to deliver a lifestyle need to the consumer. So, it's just not a unidimensional move that we have seen in Bangalore, but it's a multi-dimensional move taking place. And I think Brigade Group could see this change taking place in Bangalore.
It was the year 2004 when the Brigade Group encountered one of its most decisive moments yet. Bangalore faced a genuine void in the luxury hospitality sector, and there was a market just waiting to be tapped. Not surprisingly, This was also the year when the group launched one of its most successful subsidiaries, Brigade Hospitality. Continuing to see this potential that commercial real estate offered, Brigade Hospitality decided to provide the perfect launchpad for two big hospitality brands. The Mercure Group and Sheraton Hotels. Coupled with its renewed approach towards retail real estate, building hotels gave Brigade's alternative asset portfolio a whole new makeover.
We originally started off this property as Mercure Homestead Residences. And within a short while, the global CEO of Accor Group was visiting this property. And when he saw this property and the way Brigade had built it up, he said, look, this definitely deserves to be a Grand Mercure. It's not just a Mercure for us. So immediately action was taken and we rechristened it as Grand Mercure. And we, as a strategy, decided to move our association out of it.
By this time, Nirupa Shankar, the founder's younger daughter, joined the business. Fresh from her hospitality program at Cornell University, she put together Brigade's Under 35 think tank, a bunch of young ideators who would bring a breath of fresh air to the group.
Actually, 50% of brigadiers are under the age of 35. And what we wanted to do was give them a chance to voice their opinions, because I think today's generation, they kind of want to know why about everything. You can't just sort of order them around and say, do this, and do this. They want to know why we're doing this. Why aren't we doing something else?
But if there was one idea that kept taking form and shape, it was the group's dedication to building solid alternative assets. Like the Columbia Asia Hospital at Brigade Gateway. And irrespective of what the group built, certain traits of its construction philosophy have made it a success. Success as it's counted today.
To the extent that I can perceive, I'd say attention to detail, integrity, and delivery as defined. You know, it is important that any developer delivers at the scale at which he promises. And I suppose that has been one of the three important reasons why Brigade has done well.
So if you were to look at the people who are running Brigade, I think Mr. Jaishankar is one part of that. Effectively, he's put in a very professional organization and a management team to be able to run that. I'm not sure many developers are able to do that. I think there is an intent, but the empowerment is not passed on from the owner to the team. I think with Mr. Jaishankar, the way that he represents himself is where he has passed on a lot of that empowerment and consequently the responsibility to that team.
As Brigade goes from strength to strength, its next residential project is nearing completion. When work on Brigade Exotica finishes later this year, it will become yet another residential project for Brigade. But until then, the Realty Group has set its sights further into the sky. In doing so, Brigade has already cemented its place as one of this city's big industry players. With Nikhil Shivdas in Mumbai and camera person Alphonse in Bangalore, Jude Sanith, NDTV.